Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Hey, today I'm going to kind of get back on the RD250. What are we going to call it? I want to get it running, so I'm going to mount it or make a way to mount it so I can just set it up on one of the bike stands and run it just like I did the RD125 a few months ago. I'm going to use the same piece of metal that I used for that, and I think that's what I used for the swing arm extension on the the AT2 MX build. If you recall, the where we extended the swing arm. Here's the bracket. The swing arm stuff was on this side, and when we mounted the RD125 on here, this is what we did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these off and just repurpose this side of it, and we're going to fix that so that we can bolt the RD250 down and do the same thing as we did on the 125 for getting it running. That way I can strap this onto the bike stand, and it gives you a little bit more room on this side here for your Kickstarter to go down. I'll probably actually have to kickstart this one with my foot. I don't know, but the 125, I think I was able to do it by hand, and it started right up. So that's where I'm at today. Taking not necessarily a breather on the 125 MX, but I'm backing away from it for a little bit. I've still got a lot of good comments coming in about what people think, and I appreciate every one of them. It's just it's amazing how many smart people there are out there that, believe it or not, want to help. I'm just amazed. I've got a lot of good input. I'm kind of, not right now, but in the evening and what, I'm doing a lot of reading on CDIs and what makes them tick. And a lot of people have sent me detailed information about this, and you know, more than I can even count. I've got, you know, several folks in England and Europe, and I think in this country too, that are helping me out. And like I say, I do appreciate it, and hopefully we're going to find a solution for this real quick. I've just got to put back together. I need to get another bike up on there, and I also need to get this RD250 up on something. So I just stuck the side cover back on it, and we'll revisit that one here pretty soon. kind of wanted to raise up out of there. Just to make a jumper so I don't have all those wires laying on the case back there. Just put together a quick little plug-in jumper wire. just a simple plug to, to get this, to make this connection and not have a bunch of stuff sticking out here that can short out. Don't want to go in. Just have to get something to push on that one. There, I think we got it. All right, there's our pigtail. Okay, back in the coil box. There's a couple 12 volters. We'll try those. Just run all our wires down here. Okay, gray goes to the points. And I think green does. Not getting that one. So we've got one set of points there. And the other one up here. This is the minus side of the coil. And I've got my rubber here to isolate the table and all that. I swapped the black ones around for the negative up there, and then I'm putting my positive, making the red positive, putting those on my fuse right here. And I'm going to have to get something to kind of cover all this stuff up. And of course, we're empty here, so we're going to fill this baby up. And it says 1500 cc's. Must have been some in the line. You know, I just don't like this, so I'm going to put those coils in a box. They're in the way of doing stuff with the carburetors, and I just don't know how this is going to work, so I'm just going to make the wires longer and put them in a box like I usually do. I don't want them sitting down here where they're going to get oily and stuff if this thing runs, but I just don't like this. So we're gonna do some changes here, make the wires a little longer. I've got plenty of cable, so we'll get with that. And we'll just pull the ends off, and these should just unscrew. So we go from that little short wire to something we can kind of deal with. Yeah, that's probably okay. I'll get us another one about that same length. I just don't like clutter, and there's enough of it around here without something like this going on. So we got this little piece that goes up here, and then you can see the wire here in the middle, and it's got a screw type affair there, and we'll just screw the cap back onto the wire. Looks like it's going to fight me. Okay, and then down inside, I doubt if you can see it, but there's just a kind of a spike down there. So you just push the cable down in there and screw the cap on. There's one. Okay, I kind of like this a little better. I don't know whether it's going to slide off of there or what, but it was just going to be trouble hooked up here. So next thing I need to do is get me a T in my fuel line. Let's see here. We got our line coming from up here, and we'll get a T in that. Let's see here. That should do it. Let's just double check here. We got negative going to, let's see, negative on both. and positive on both. And the positive are going to my fuse and consequently to the battery. And then I've got the I believe the orange and the gray are the points, and they're going to the negative side of the coil. And then I've got a ground coming off the engine that'll go to the negative side of the battery. And I believe I've got a negative here too, going up to here. And I'm just going to hook that in with the other one. The green wire, it's a charging circuit, so we're not going to do anything with that. And because we're just running total loss here on our ignition. I think I'm going to tuck these up underneath this strap here so they won't go dangling around. And just kind of, let's see, split these, I think. That's a ground, get that over there, just so they don't touch one another. And I've hooked up kind of a makeshift throttle here. These cables, one of them is broken, so I've got a vice grip on it just so I can get some throttle. I was going to put the choke on, but they seem to be a little bit different. You know, the one that operates both at the same time. So I'm gonna revisit that at another time. I may have to modify those or something. So I think at this point, maybe I'll just wrap some tape around that box, to make sure that it doesn't vibrate off, the one with the coil. I think we're kind of all hooked up here except for the battery. I may have to swap the plug wires from plug to plug, because I don't really know which one is which. So, I mean, I could find out if I wanted to probe around a little bit, but right now, if it doesn't act like it wants to start or it kicks back on me or something, then I'll just swap the plug wires and that should take care of it. And I guess we'll go ahead here and get the fuel running, see if we have any leaks. These are brand new carburetors, but I've had them around for a while. Of course, they've never had fuel in them, so hopefully they're not going to leak. I see I got a little leak here. Let me see if I can figure out why that's happened. And I thought maybe it was this vacuum fitting I put in there, but I think it's this hose here. I have clamps, but I don't want to take it off and get gas all over me. So I'm just going to wrap some wire around it here and see if I can get it to stop. That's probably the last place fella needs gas leaking up there on top of the engine and running into the ignition. So I think this will do the trick. I don't think these are leaking. I think it was the top one. You ever turn it the wrong way? Okay, I'm not seeing anything there now. Hopefully we've got that. All right, let's give it a little shot of fuel up in the cylinders. Okay. Now let's see now. I think we've got everything we need. We've got fuel. We've got spark, I think. We had it the other day, so we should have it. I think I've got everything hooked up the way I need to, except for the ground on the battery. And we put oil in the transmission, so that's good. No leaks around it. I think all we need is a little effort on that. So I guess that's our next thing to do. We're tied down. Well, let me tighten these bolts down. I never did do that. It ain't going to go anywhere, but we don't need it shaking itself apart either. All right, that ought to hold it. Okay, let's see if we can get a pop out of it. I'm gonna go ahead, I've got the positive hooked up and I've got a little spark there. Fuse is still good. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna give it a little choke on both. Well, nothing really to hold on to. Well, there's a pop. All right, let's swap it. It's loud, smoking good. We've got a lot of oil. Well, not a lot. We've got oil. Go ahead and get my gas shut off here. I just pulled the negative off the battery to kill it. I'll go ahead and pop this other one off. Kind of moved around, but I think that was because when I was kicking it. Once it got running, it didn't. Yeah, you can see where it's wet right here. So I'm getting oil into both cylinders. Of course, this is premix I'm running. Pump isn't hooked up. And as you saw, we just had to change the plug wires in order to get it to run. It popped the other way, but it just wouldn't keep going. So that's all we ended up doing. So everything, as I can tell right now, it's running okay. It's not making any mysterious noises. So it's more than likely a good engine. And that's what I'll probably do with my, I'll probably use this on a flat tracker. I just think they're cool. Got a little haze in the shop here, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my vent fan on. That'll clear it out pretty quick. So the 250 runs. Okay guys, there you have it. Test run on the RD250. I believe it's a 1973 model. Everything, it sounded pretty good. You probably noticed that it started to kind of flounder maybe halfway through the running. I forgot to turn the gas on up here. So I got that back on before it died. And just readjusted the idle a little bit, and didn't do anything with the air screws. They seem to be, it seemed pretty good to me. We just, well, like I said, the only thing we had to do really was to get it running was swap the coil wires out, and that, you know, unless you track all that stuff down beforehand, that's going to happen on a twin. Or even on a triple or something like that. You're just going to have to swap them around until you get it right. But it seemed pretty good. It was responsive. At least, you know, with points, I can get it running. And I'm going to get that 125 MX running too. It just it's going to take me some education. I'm going to get that taken care of, and we will figure it out. But right now, we've got this one going. Didn't take a lot to do it. Like I said, if you're doing anything like this, be sure to put you a fuse in line and just tap the battery with your negative a couple times. You're going to get a little spark, but you don't want a big one. You don't want something that really flashes. That's telling you something's wrong, and that's going to kill your fuse too. It's going to blow it. But with that little bitty spark that we get, I always check to make sure the fuse is still good. It was, and it ran all the way through, so no problem there. So I think it's a good engine. Didn't hear any weird noises or anything like that. So I guess the next thing I need to do is get some of these other bikes put together and start trying to figure out how to make a frame. And I know I'm going to have to build a jig to build the frame first. And that's going to take some time itself, but I'm going to take you all through the ride and on the ride and all that stuff. So thanks for going along on the ride, and we'll see you next video.